Hi, everybody. This is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. It's Sunday, April 14th today, and this is your horoscope for the day. The exalted sun in Aries is moving into a trine with Jupiter today, just as Jupiter has turned retrograde in Sagittarius, and just as Venus in Pisces is moving into a square with Jupiter. On top of this, the moon in Leo will be forming a grand fire trine with Jupiter and the sun today. Here's what to watch for. The grand fire trine brings with it a sense of action, urgency, willpower, intentionality, and force. Fire may purify, reduce, or essentialize, and also mobilize us. Fire can take a variety of energies, events, and circumstances and somehow burn or boil them down to a single essence, emerging from which we may find a single intention, idea, or focus. With the sun exalted and making a trine with Jupiter, the image of clarity, illumination, and insight are also highlighted. Watch for flashes of insight and illumination to appear, along with the desire to act on whatever insights are arriving as soon as possible. With Jupiter having just turned retrograde and with the sun separating from Saturn and Pluto and the South Node in Capricorn, there is an opportunity to correct mistakes made in the past, to recognize the futility of an old way of doing something, or to begin acting on the lessons learned from a humbling or challenging experience that one has recently had. The grand fire trine with the sun leaving the square of Saturn and with benefic Venus also squaring Jupiter may also indicate a moment of innovation, of finding a new solution to an old problem, of finding help from allies, friends, or lovers. There's a can-do positivism in the air around this transit, but it will take both a sober and realistic attitude about what is and isn't working, and about what has and hasn't worked in the past. The grand fire trine, along with the separating square from the sun to Saturn and the South Node, also suggests the need for relentless effort, willpower, intentionality, and the courage of a higher form of concentration. In the I Ching, the 18th hexagram is sometimes called repairing the damage. And its image is that of the wind moving around the base of a mountain. When something gets in our way, we have to adapt. When a life path, a series of events, or an intention falls apart or is diverted, perhaps due to a roadblock, we must reflect upon what led to the event and then rectify the situation through deliberate, concentrated, relentless efforts. Sometimes something brand new is needed, and sometimes we have to return to something we've forgotten or neglected. The first line of Hexagram 18 depicts a son cleaning up after the mess made by a father. The son could easily persist in the same errors, make the same mistakes, and find himself reaping the same results. Or by studying where his father's path started to decay and fall apart, he can become wiser and avoid making the same mistakes. However, line 1 changing leads to hexagram 26 called the taming power of the great. This hexagram basically says that if we want to make great changes, avoid great errors, rectify mistakes, do great things, spiritually speaking, we need to study the concentration, willpower, and wisdom of great people. People who have adapted, changed, evolved, and maintained spiritual concentration over very long periods of time at a very high level. We very often think that we are already free. We think we're co-creators. We think I create my own reality, and we shun fate. We think of fate as a negative thing. In fact, some astrologers or other diviners will even build entire careers on either trying to remain entirely positive, acting as though the future is 100% up to their clients, or that everything is evolving positively, or they will build their careers on not at all having to deal with the psychological and spiritual reality of fate and choice by remaining technical, focusing only on making accurate predictions or on using techniques efficiently. But then we have to ask a few important questions. If we are so free, can we easily give up our most compulsive behaviors or habits? Can we withdraw our senses from their attachments? Can we control their constant wanderings? Can we easily shift our desires and fears, our attention and focus? The answer, of course, is no. If we try to quiet our minds for even just 5 minutes in meditation, most of us struggle mightily. And so our talk about freedom ends up being just as compulsive and unconscious as the yogurt commercial that drives us straight to the fridge so we can eat healthy, conscious, green, organic, naturally farmed, vegan, prayed over, low sugar yogurt 3 times a day as we count calories and try to look better in our yoga pants while creating confessional Instagram posts about the results we're hoping to manifest later in 2019, just after reposting someone's hilarious meme about how awful the year has already been. OMG, what's up with the stars? I'm already over 2019, 2020, now please. So no, we're not that free. Or put differently, we are deeply free, but we don't know how to use our freedom because we're so deeply ignorant about the best use of it. We also mistake the defense of our compulsive, worst behaviors for our freedom and autonomy, becoming wildly aggressive. If anyone suggests that we're lacking maturity, concentration, sobriety, or wisdom. In fact, the very idea that we could become better versions of ourselves is made impossible because of the most famous self-help mantras, which we chant on our way back to eat another cup of yogurt from the fridge. I had bad parents. I had bad parents. I had bad parents. Or I'm not about to become a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm all about self-love. It's all about self-love. Hexagram 18 to 26 and straight talk. You want to become your better self, then grow up and do it. Stop talking about your freedom and agency and get back to what you know is actually healthy. Or innovate a new way of being a better version of yourself. Don't blame your parents. Don't pretend you're free and empowered already. Recognize the stagnation or decay in your life on whatever level it may exist for what it is. Your body, your environment, your situation is a reflection of how you're using your free will. Don't like it? Use your free will differently. And then over time, watch as the quality of your consciousness changes. Study the lives and wisdom of people who have walked this path and found ways of being spiritually successful, and do it now. Don't stop doing this or you'll be back here again. Such is the fierceness of a grand fire trine, the sun separating from Saturn, the south node, and Pluto. But with Venus squaring Jupiter in the mix, the good news is that there are resources for us to draw on right now. There is help available, friends to share the journey with, enthusiasm, creativity, even love to join hands with as we go. Life is like music, and we are like instruments. When we develop actual spiritual willpower, actual spiritual staying power in life, we learn how to be played and play along. We learn how to pick back up and follow the beat when we feel out of sync with it. Our freedom does not exist in terms of our ability to be separate. Because by acting separately, we exhaust our will, and hence we lose our freedom. Our real freedom exists in terms of our ability to develop the willpower to stay in harmony with the movements of love. Prayer. I am an instrument being played. My sweet Lord, help me to sing along.